So we've got Kyoku taking on Mr. SNK. And we are ready to go. Now I've got to look at my brackets here to find out exactly where we're at.
I was going to say, just how deep into losers are we?
That's
so
what
far?
I was. Okay, so Kyoku A7 went here. And let's see, Mr. SNK A8 went here. So what that tells me, Nick, is that basically Mr. SNK and Kyoku both won their winner or losers bracket matches, and now they are forced to play. So this is loser going home, and the winner is going to go on to face Mike Ross.
Oh, that'll be an interesting matchup.
Yes.
Now I don't like the matchup here for Honda, to be honest. Bison definitely improved upon in Super. Don't like it that much. Honda does have the tools again, does have the tools to punish Bison, but I think it's bad teleport on the part of Kyoku.
Still a little bit harder for Honda to get in, I assume.
I wouldn't say it's so much harder, but I'd like to see an offensive Bison. All the Bisons, if you watch Valle play, if you watch Andre Lambert play, they're all very, very aggressive with Bison. And as long as you are aggressive with Bison, you can be very successful with Bison.
Okay.
But that's how he has to be played. He's not a keep away character.
Right.
He's not, he's not someone you can just sit back with. And Kyoku right now, not doing a lot to get in.
Well, Mr. SNK so far doing a pretty good job. He will take the first round of the first game. And as we just mentioned, the winner of this matchup will go on to face Mike Ross. And we will get some updated brackets here in just a moment, returning back to the action. What do you think so far? You've been talking about aggressive Bison.
I see a little bit more of it in this round. I see Kyoku jumping out, trying to apply scissor kick pressure a little bit more, not just sitting back, but it's not enough right now. Nice standing roundhouse. That's another advantage that Bison has. That standing roundhouse is very, very good. But it's, again, you have to have the opportunities to land it. Mostly on whiffs, mostly not for anti-air as well, but mostly on whiffs and whatnot. So Mr. SNK takes that pretty easily from Kyoku. There's the anti-air with standing roundhouse you just mentioned. And again, his medium kick is also good as poke as well.
I will refresh here on a new game. Again, in the losers bracket, Mr. SNK versus Kyoku. Nick had commented a few times about the pressure or the aggression that he's seeing out of this Bison.
That was a really nice predictive roundhouse, by the way. After he applied the scissor kick, just threw the roundhouse out there, thinking that he was going to jump or do something. EX to get out of the corner.
Looks like he wants to be aggressive, but some good punishment coming out by Mr. SNK.
Now, one of the things that makes this, again, that makes Honda better is that EX headbutt. So I think it might be playing into a little bit of why Kyoku is not applying as much pressure as he normally could, because the headbutt or the EX headbutt is either going to trade or hit or just
it kind of becomes a deterrent then.
A deterrent, yes.
For Mr. SNK.
Gets the Ocho throw.
Which positions him in the corner. He does get out of there. And the second time.
I also don't see a lot of jump, like in the jumps that Kyoku is using, and I believe that's it for Kyoku.
That is it.
In the jumps that he was using, I didn't see a lot of the medium punch jumps, which would set up for Ultra. So, but again, Honda has a lot of great air moves, so Bison's medium punch is not really the best option in that situation.
All right, we're going to continue the matches here in the losers bracket. Thanks for joining us here for Devastation 2010. We are on day number 2. In a few hours, it's going to be day 3, but we don't start till later on tomorrow. But finals all day long. We're wrapping up today with Super Street Fighter 4, and I got to say, great job to the admins, great job to the guys here helping out with the stream, because we've literally had a constant flow of matches, and this is how we like to watch them.
And we've got it down to, from top 32.
We're going to start to hit more and more of the matches. We're ready to go now, as Danny Mitsu is going to take on Guru. And so Guru went here, and Danny Mitsu, I only have half the bracket, guys. So this is a similar situation to SNK versus Kyoku, where both of them were dropped down to the lowers bracket, and then they won their lower bracket game. So the winner of this game is going to go on to face Bucktooth, who did very well with the Buki, versus Valle.
So Dan Mitsu using Seth, which we didn't witness before when he was playing, correct?
No, I don't think so. Let me see. He played Ninja CW, so it was whoever Makoto, and I don't even remember now.
But he's playing,
wasn't it? Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
Well, I think what matters now is that Dan Mitsu is playing Seth, and playing Seth very convincingly, perfecting Guru's Balrog. One of the things that, and also Dan Mitsu chose to go with Ultra 2, which is the better option against Balrog, because you're going to get chip damage. You would want to probably keep Ultra 1 against projectile characters and whatnot, because it gives you that invulnerability, but given it with Balrog, you might want, if you're in a situation where you need the chip damage, this is why you should pick Ultra 2.
All right, well, we don't see, at least I haven't lately, been seeing a whole lot of Seths, but there's been a few Seths across the nation that have sort of been making names for themselves. What's your, it seems like everyone has differing opinions on Seth, his usage, etc. What's your thoughts?
I think that, so on the East Coast we have Arturo Sanchez, Saban. That's pretty much what everyone thinks of when they think of Seth. On the West Coast you have Online Tony, especially when he gets his dive kicks. Online Tony, so both of them play fairly the same way, and in the sense that I think Arturo is a little bit more random and chaotic around the screen and trying to mix people up and I wouldn't say confuse the opponent, but using a lot of the off-the-wall stuff, where it looks like, as Guru right here, really just opting to go for actually dive kick, like a lot of dive kicks, actually getting them really low. But he's going to get hurt really bad by this, because Seth is very low life. So Seth, his main advantage is his ability to dizzy. So if you get 3 successive head stomps plus dive kick, 250 stun. Every time you get the spin kick, 200 stun. Tremendous amount of stun. That's how you want to play. So those are 2 moves that you should be focusing on as a Seth player, and because once you get stunned, then you land on, you pile on more damage.
Gotcha. Well, so far, Danny Mitsu doing a good job. He won game 1. He's 1 round up in game number 2. Guru looking for a way. He did manage to get a link into the Ultra in the last matchup, but it wasn't enough to actually win it. And Danny Mitsu seems to be doing a great job with Seth versus Balrog.
Getting the full head stomps to dive.
Oh, nice to get saved there.
So Guru relying a lot on the EX headbutt to get out of situations when Dan Mitsu is trying to either cross up or land the head stomps with Seth.
Great combo start for Danny Mitsu. It's gonna be another tough match here for Balrog, just with, I don't know if I even want to call it the mobility of Seth. I mean, it just seems like he has the ability to be all over the place. And this is not good for Guru.
I think it's the first time that we saw Dan Mitsu actually drop one of those head stomps.
And it didn't seem to matter anyway. Danny Mitsu will move on. Guru has been eliminated from the tournament. That means Danny Mitsu will go on to face Bucktooth. And now we have Flow Up. Still working on my brackets here. But I believe the winner of this matchup will go on to face Filipino champ. We're Sinister X versus Flo coming up next year.
So I believe Sinister X, if I recall correctly from what I've heard, coming out of Texas, land of arcade UFO.
That's correct. I believe that's right. I think he's actually using a arcade UFO stick, if I'm not mistaken.
Flo, as we've seen before, Chun-Li player. I believe, I'm trying to remember, I want to say Illinois, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I believe from Chicago,
okay.
If not mistaken. And Flo played a very, very close matchup with Juicebox, went to the final game. Juicebox advanced. Flo won his first losers bracket matchup. Now he's got to face Sinister X, and the winner of this matchup will go on to face Filipino champ. So we're starting to see some of these loser bracket quarterfinal matches be worked out here.
Now, Flo likes to use that double fierce when he jumps in. I've seen him use it a lot of times before. Catches a few people off guard.
Flo, some good pressure in the corner. And enough to win him the first round of game one. So I'm still filling out my brackets here, filling in the blanks, if you will. So Chun with the full bar right now. And this would actually be some good practice here for Flo.
Against Filipino champ.
Right, exactly, because he would go on to face another Dulcim immediately following. Using that fireball.
Ooh.
Chew through Chun-Li's tights. Not sure that Sinister X wanted that to actually go down that way, but we will see Flo taking that first game. As we mentioned, the winner of this will go on to face Filipino champ. And it looks like...
So it looks like Sinister X is contemplating what he's going to do next, if he's going to stick with Dulcim.
And he is thinking hard about it. And he will. Going right back in the game, he's going to stick with Sim. What do you think about that? I have no idea what Sinister X has in his bag of tricks that he would have been able to pull out.
I don't know. I've not seen Sinister X play before, so I don't know if he has a secondary. Chun's pretty good, you know, especially she has a great poke game. She has the ability to keep distance. It's really, I mean, if he wasn't confident in his second choice, then even if it's a bad matchup,
maybe that would stick
with what you know.
Nice wall jump, try to avoid that ultra. About even right now, but Flo is one game up. Both players backing off, full zone. And Flo actually jumps in, and it looks like he's just got a single chip left. Giving Sinister X a little bit of advantage here. He's going to continue to whip out those fireballs.
Wow.
Falling a little bit short.
Typically throwing fireballs against Chun-Li stock with Ultra One, not a good idea.
Right. Just too far away at that point. And Sinister X does take a round here in the second game.
Sinister X going for the Ultra set, very nice. To the super. So now Sinister X wants to just sit on the life lead, not taking too many risks.
And remember, this is a match in the losers bracket, so you know losing this matchup will result in you leaving the tournament. So people playing to stay alive right here And right now, Flo is technically in the lead, 1 game. So Sinister X on a round to try to tie this up.
So now you see Sinister X really reluctant to throw the fireball, and when he does, gets caught.
And that's enough to take the round. That's going to be game point now for Flo here, potential game point. And that would also knock Sinister X out of the tournament. Sinister X must win this round to stay alive. And up on deck, it looks like we're going to see Mr. SNK versus Mike Ross, and could see a Honda mirror match on that one. What do you feel has been different about Sinister X's game? You know, it looked like Flo took that first game pretty convincingly. He thought long and hard about switching characters, and coming out of the gate, he had a great first round. He's keeping Chun-Li at bay now.
I think that one of the things that was important was that he's not falling for the double hit, fierce in the air when Chun-Li jumps in. On top of that, he's using teleports a little bit more effectively to keep the distance away from Chun-Li and enhance his keep away game. Because all the damage that Flo is doing is up close and when he's applying pressure. And Flo is very, very good at applying those links that end with that standing fierce. So if he gets that first hit in, he's going to get all 5 hits in.
Flo's going to go for it again, and he does manage to hit it, and that's going to be it. I guess baited in, hook, line, and sinker, and Flo will advance. And that means Flo is going to be facing Filipino champ here very soon. And I'll tell you what, we're now on a string of... We're going to go live with Mike Ross versus Mr. SNK. We got an E-Honda mirror match.
Basically running back casuals.
Yeah, exactly. We actually saw this one earlier. I wonder if they anticipated that as being an option. And if you remember when we were doing the casual, they had their standoff for like about 5 minutes.
They had the initial 50-second delay.
And here we go.
Now, Mr. SNK, I think, opting for color 11, which is one that people don't typically like to see in tournaments, especially against a color 1 opponent, because it's really a difference in texture as opposed to color.
Yeah.
And it causes some players an issue. Devastation does have a rule that that color 12 is banned. And they're the first ones to have actually done that, but they don't have a rule on color 11.
Okay. Well, you know what? And one of the things, just if it's interesting to anyone.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh. Mike Ross looking like he wanted to give Mr. SNK a big old hug and just missed his opportunity. Got dissed. And Mr. SNK will pick up the first round. Now remember, folks, these are important matches because the loser will go home. Only the winner advances to stay alive in this tournament for Super Street Fighter 4 Devastation 2010. Again, I'm DJ Wee. Joining me is Nick, aka Casper One. Again, I appreciate you being here. And let me ask you a question. Every single mirror match is, it obviously plays a little bit different. Suddenly, right, you're having to play against a clone of yourself. What you know about these two players, who would you just give that distinct advantage to?
I think that Mike Ross has more of the experience with Honda. He's been playing Honda. It was the first thing he did when he picked up SF4. He works with the character intensely. Not to say that Mr. SNK doesn't, but Mike Ross has a lot of experience with a lot of people.
And tournament experience, which is yes, just as important.
And placing very well for a very long time at those tournaments with Honda. So taking a character and really learning the extent to what that character can do. Now, in regards to mirror matches, personally, I find them to be the most frustrating because it's the kind of thing where you know all your strengths, you know all the weaknesses, and they know the same thing. And in Street Fighter 4 or any fighting game that's balanced, it's always a game of rock, paper, scissors. And you always have an option that can counter the other. But when you have a mirror match, you're taking away one of the things. It's just rock and paper. So who wins?
Right. Right. That's an interesting perspective. So Ross definitely seems like in that, Mike Ross in that first round was a little bit aggressive, and now he's kind of like backed off a little bit.
He's just hanging on the life lead, I think. He knows he can counter what Mr. SNK is doing. Mr. SNK was coming in with some headbutts. Mike Ross counters with the EX headbutt cleanly.
And Mike Ross will take that first matchup. I did also notice that we were on different ultras for the two characters. Any thought on that in the Honda mirror match? Anyone that you would say this is the one I would go with?
I don't think that there in this particular matchup. I don't think that there's one that's better than the other. I think Mike Ross likes the Ochio setups.
Right.
He likes the throw setups, so that ultra fits his playstyle very, very well. It could be that Mr. SNK is just more comfortable with Ultra 1, and that's where his experience lies. It's definitely not a detriment to him in this matchup.
Okay. And unfortunately, he hasn't been able to make any of those setups actually connect. Mike Ross now in game number 2 with the health disadvantage, gonna hop right over that headbutt. See what he's got in store for him.
So there we see the EX headbutt as anti-air.
Right. Which Mr. SNK actually did pretty well against, I believe it was Kyoku, who was doing very well against it with that same exact move. So Mr. SNK up around, has the opportunity to tie it up. And this is where we see, this is exactly what Mike Ross did in the last game.
So Mike Ross really good at using the EX headbutt to actually punish whiffs. We saw Mr. SNK throw out a standing roundhouse, didn't connect, didn't block.
Ooh, nice.
And using the EX headbutt to actually just get in there really quickly and punish.
Very nice by Mike Ross. Take another round, he's on game point. And the winner of this will get a break for the rest of the evening because he will be one of the additional players in the top 8. And the top 8 for Super Street Fighter 4 will be played tomorrow during the finals day at Devastation 2010. Oh. Wow, getting really aggressive. Mr. SNK just trying to get out of the corner.
Mike Ross trying to bait something from Mr. SNK right here. If he eats another one of those chip underhands, that's it.
Oh! Man, and he is 0 for 3 for those today, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure the entire room was convinced that that was going to connect.
Well, the head, I mean, from what I saw, I mean, yes, the entire room did feel, I thought it too, but apparently Mr. SNK still in the air, not being able to get grabbed by the Ocho. Not the Ocho, but the Ultra 2.
So Mike Ross starting out game number 3, and it is a very, very important game here in the grand scheme of these lower brackets. Mike Ross looking pretty untouchable so far here. Already has Mr. SNK down to about 30%, probably just a little bit over. And Mike Ross is pretty much using his standard bag of tricks. But Mr. SNK.
That was an interesting trade-up right there. Mike Ross just really sitting back right now with the X.
Wow.
Again, as he's done a few times before in this matchup, using EX headbutt to counter Mr. SNK's regular headbutt.
And now Mike Ross is on game point. He wins this one, he stays alive. And he will eliminate Mr. SNK from the tournament. Ross getting a little taste of his own medicine there. Oh, nice.
not able to follow up after that 100-hand slap. Typically able to do that, but the spacing just too much, so he wasn't able to do anything.
And so here we go, the deciding round. Very, very important round for both of these guys. Once again, Mike Ross doing a great job punishing with those. It's hard to do nothing but just to sit here and watch in anticipation. She's got a lot of hits being traded back and forth. Oh, Mike Ross may just seal the deal with that one.
Now Mike just sitting back. He doesn't have EX mirror.
There it is. There it is. I think Mike Ross giving a bow there.
I think Mike Ross not want to be caught by what he was catching Mr. SNK with so often in that match when Mr. SNK is sitting on EX, him not having EX, using regular headbutt, but just pulls one out, gets chip damage, and is able to finish it. Now Balrog's, just like Rufus's standing jab is what you want to use to counter with Balrog's standing jabs are definitely the option that he's going to use to try to keep that pressure that Abel applies off of him.
And already Showstopper getting a majority of the damage done here. Still kind of reeling from that match between Mr. SNK and Mike Ross. Very, very nicely done. And we're starting to pack up the rest. It looks like right now.
And Showstopper just really sitting back and not really being overly aggressive. Just keep sticking out the jabs in order to keep Nick T off of him, and also using anti-air, crouching fierce anti-air headbutt when Nick T tries to get in on.
Both players obviously respecting the other. Being very patient. This is where I personally fail. Of course, you do have your players who like to just be constantly doing something, and then of course
Showstopper had a much higher life lead than he has now, and now he's doesn't even have it anymore. He could have been much more passive with it.
Oh.
And even Showstopper a little surprised at
yeah, well, I mean, obviously throw it out to throw it out. I think he was expecting him to just block it.
Right.
But I don't know if that would have been enough to chip damage him to death.
I don't know that it would have been enough chip damage to get him. I think that it would have, and he would have blocked it and he would have just lost it. Don't want to call it random ultra, but it wasn't the best situation to do it, but he got caught, so.
Take it from someone who throws out some random ultras, dude. I think
now Showstopper actually dropping the combo there, had a few crouching jabs and then didn't follow up with the link to headbutt and then ultra, because he did have ultra stacked.
Enable. Nick T will answer back. Winner of this matchup going on to face Ninja CW. We already know one of our players who will also join the other 4 from the winner bracket in the top 8 tomorrow, and that is Mike Ross. It looks like Danamitsu and Bucktooth are ready on deck to play, and the winner of that will determine who goes on to face Mike.
So wake up EX headbutt into ultra right there. Nice neutral attack to headbutt.
And it seems like most of the success from Showstopper has been being pressured or pressuring in the corner. Waiting very patiently.
Nice move, like in basically holding on to the ultra and waiting for Showstopper's reaction.
Wow. I would have liked to seen that on replay. And that means first game will go to Nick T. Showstopper looking to add Super Street Fighter 4 to his list of finals. He will be playing in the Marvel vs. Capcom finals tomorrow for Devastation 2010, Day 3.
So now Nick T does have Breathless stacked again, so Showstopper might want to be a little more cautious in approaching him.
Rightfully so. As we see many times in these matches, you do things and that will, cause a player to react. I mean, these players are playing at such a level where they are dynamically changing their game based off what other people do.
Oh, absolutely.
We talked about some of those situations, and even Summit talked about earlier, where it's a matter of, almost training your opponent into doing this, or blocking all my lows, and then mixing.
And that's the metagame. It's all about setting up the opponent, putting them in a place where you limit their options and expand on your options, and then making sure that you follow up on the execution.
Well, Showstopper did win that first round here in game number 2. Nick T up a game.
So Showstopper now using a lot of the armor layers on the EX stash punches with some success now, but I think Nick T is starting to become aware of that. That's sort of oh.
That's going to do it. That puts Nick T on game point.
Have to be really careful if you're going to jump in on an Abel who has Breathless. You have to cross up, because if you don't and you land in front and you don't safe jump, you're toast.
Or cross up will hit out of the ultra.
I'm not saying the cross will hit out of the ultra, but you want to put yourself behind Abel, so that, because it's all about forward movement for Abel at that point. If you get behind him, you're not going to get hit by it, and he has to cancel out of it, or opt out of it, I should say.
Well, Showstopper wanted to equalize this here. Winning this game would put him at 1-1.
Standing roundhouse, one of the Balrog's better moves in his arsenal. Showstopper learning for the first time not to jump on reaction to the ultra too.
And he plays that one nicely. Again, another great example of showing this dynamic learning that's constantly going on when you're playing at a top tier. You can't just expect to play your normal game. You've got to be able to adapt.
You have to download. You have to consistently be downloading.
And that's going to mark us tied here. 1 game to 1 game. Winner goes on to place Ninja CW.
Nice CX headbutt, but not really much you can do to follow up after that.
What should we be seeing out of that follow-up?
Nothing. He didn't have any meter. He had no ultra, no super.
And that's all we are going to be seeing. But there's no like normals or anything that's going to follow up.
There's nothing you can follow up with at that point.
Getting a little rowdy here in the room. And Nick T is in the danger zone right now.
Do we have that cued on? Do we have that cued on the music?
What's that?
Do we have that cued on the music? Danger zone?
Oh, I don't know. No, audio guy's saying no.
Okay.
Although I did hear you're the best around from Karate Kid earlier. I like that.
I mean, how can you have that and not Top Gun, right?
I'm sort of agreeing on that, but yeah, not today. So Showstopper up around. And Nick T, who took that first game and looked very nice doing so.
So again, we just see Showstopper just coming in, just throwing jabs out there just to keep Nick T from opening up that pressure game, like we're watching right here. Ooh. Oh.
Oh! Nice, nice. Showstopper even, I think, surprising himself a little bit there in that last hit. Up with celebration, and that means Showstopper, they're like, sit back down. I think he's got another match that he's going to be playing here. And Danny Mitsu versus Bucktooth. Bucktooth gave Alex Valle a fantastic game. Went down to the final round, very, very close. A couple of those very good. I'm hoping to see Ibuki again, and we will see Rufus versus Ibuki.
So now Daimitsu going with Big Bang Typhoon instead of Ultra 1.
Let's get started.
Which you did talk about earlier. Thought a lot of Rufus players were definitely favoring that one. But it depends on the matchup,
It depends on the matchup, and if I had to guess, and I am guessing here, I think the reason here that Daimitsu is going for that is because just simply the effect, the wide range of effect that Big Bang Typhoon has. If you hit, it draws the character in, and you get the full 18 hits of the Ultra.
Right. So far, Bucktooth with the advantage.
And one of the things here that Ibuki does, if Ibuki happens to, because Ibuki floats with the kunai.
Ooh, nice.
So Ibuki floats with the kunai. So if Daimitsu activates Ultra 2 while she has the kunai and she's on a forward approach, he's going to get her with that. So it's not so much that she has a projectile, it's more the fact that she might be in the air longer and it gives more of an opportunity to land.
Okay.
EX Messiah, nice.
I believe it was Daimitsu in his Rufus where he said you're looking to see those lower.
Want to see better execution on his part.
And it looks like he's doing a little bit better in this matchup versus Bucktooth than that.
I mean, Bucktooth took that first round pretty convincingly, but now Daimitsu seems to have a little bit of a better feel for the match. It looks like he's maybe slightly unfamiliar. He's not applying the dive kick pressure as much. Nice. But now Bucktooth is on a run. He's had the there's a super going for chip damage to win.
He's gonna get it. Nicely done by Bucktooth.
So again, that was a situation where the super, the only purpose was really for the chip damage. Really nice target combo into the neck breaker. Starting with the Vortex, going another neck breaker, Vortex, going for another cross up, but doesn't get it.
Ooh.
Wow. Goes for EX Snake Strike to get out of it, but whiffs on it. Gets perfected by Bucktooth.
Bucktooth's looking really impressive.
Once you get that neck breaker and you can start getting the Vortex going, if you successfully randomize your approach, you're looking at a tremendous disadvantage.
He's gonna try to finish it off right here. What do you feel like Daimitsu could be doing differently?
Well, I like what he did just there. He actually came short on the dive kick to set up the throw on the wake up for Ibuki. So that was good. And he is executing and landing his stuff more often. So, but now Bucktooth opening up with the overheads and going into the spin kick to the dragon kick. Tries to throw, but gets tagged.
Daimitsu definitely a lot more on point that game. We're now tied rounds in the second game. Winner going on to face Mike Ross, who is watching from the sidelines.
So now Daimitsu's applying the dive kick pressure a lot more, a lot closer, but wait, there we go, Snake Strike after the jumping roundhouse. But what we're seeing now is that when Bucktooth has EX meter, starting with the EX Dragon Kick, which has frames of invulnerability, so that's what's countering on the dive kicks.
Round for Daimitsu here. He must win this one to stay alive.
Oh no, that's it. No, but it's a lot of chip damage.
Oh, countering. And that's gonna do it to it. And Bucktooth will win, and Bucktooth will be facing Mike Ross tomorrow in the Super Street Fighter 4 finals. And that means we've got a couple more to figure out. First, we got Showstopper versus Ninja CW, and then Flo versus Filipino champ.
Now, Flo versus Filipino, that's the
way the cards fall, yeah. Right. So Ninja CW is going up against Showstopper. These guys are fighting for one of 2 spots remaining in the top 8. Again, Ninja CW going with Makoto and Showstopper is going to be playing as Balrog. Should be an interesting one.
Now, I don't know Showstopper's previous experience, but again, as before, I imagine that there's probably not a lot of experience that he has with the matchup versus Makoto, just because not a lot of people playing. This is actually what we saw with DMG Inthul at ECT2 when he was playing as Fei Long, and we saw a lot of things that we just didn't know, and he got very, very far with those things. So to that end, forgetting about the abilities of the character, I do like Ninja CW and her chance. And there's an ultra that's not going to connect, and Makoto is going to respond, but misses because Balrog pushed back so far.
All right, he's going to not give up though. Ooh.
Nice SKX command grab.
CW takes round number 1.
And the battle continues. Fight!
After this, Flo versus Filipino champ. Time in there. A few mistakes from Ninja CW.
Oh, nice CX command grab into dash. There we go. Filipino champ offering his own advice in the background, just saying chill.
Right on.
Not a bad idea at this point.
It's like MMA.
Of course, Filipino champ, I believe, actually timing out on 2 of his rounds in previous matchups that we saw. So there's a lot of players who don't like the idea of winning by timing out, but in the end, it's a win.
Play to win, right? I think a famous Street Fighter once said that. Not sure. So we're tied on rounds here in game number 1. Quarterfinals of the losers bracket. We're determining the top 8. We know 6 of them. We're trying to find out the other 2. And Balrog taking a hurting here. He is going to get that link to Ultra.
Going for his own throw grab, but it doesn't connect, and pays for it when she reverses with her command grab.
And Ninja CW takes game number 1. We talked a little bit about the concept and the idea that Makoto is currently sitting on the bottom of the tier list. Of course, we could go into the debate for hours over whether or not the tier list actually matters. But have you been at all impressed with how you've seen? Have you seen better Makotos? I would love to hear what
I'll be honest,
your observation.
this is his first tournament play Makoto.
Okay.
So I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see the character being put to use and getting this far, at least.
Yeah, I mean, against this pool right now, there's not that many players left. So,
and I think what ends up happening is that as a community, what ends up happening, the people automatically typecast characters into certain groups based on first blush, and so there are people who aren't going to go and explore what those characters can really do, and then you have the few who will do it, and then when they find out what that character is about, now it might be they might not ever get anywhere with it, but at least they explore the possibilities.
Right, and a lot of times when those possibilities can become public, and that's good, people will flock to the characters for those reasons.
As we saw when DMG Inthul was doing so well, SRK forums viewing Fei Long was like 900 at that moment. So. Right.
And we saw that also with Guile and Daigo, and so but that's a good thing, as that they figure it out, more is discovered, etc. So Balrog up a round, but Ninja CW up a game.
So Ninja CW having to be really careful right now because Balrog is sitting on Ultra. So if he gets one of those, if he gets a crouching jab or a crouching short, links into ultimately. Sorry, link cancels into the headbutt and then ultimately into Ultra, and drops it there.
That could be a round-losing mistake. We'll find out. And they will trade, but Showstopper will get the better of that one. And now we're tied in games.
Let's get started. Fight!
So winner of this will move on and be one of the top 8. It's all going to come down to this one game.
I really like Ninja CW's use. I believe it's the down hard kick as anti-air. But Ninja CW has used that quite a few times against a number of opponents for anti-air.
Still hearing Mr. Filipino Champ giving some advice out. Offering some help where he can.
So it seems Ninja CW, Showstopper really just trying to go for throw setups, and Ninja CW not handling it too well. Now trying to put some distance between her and him. Gets him with the EX dash punch on the wake up.
Pick up the pace. Fight!
If Showstopper wins this one, he will put himself in his second final for Devastation 2010. As I mentioned earlier, he is also in the final for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 normal tier. Ooh, very nice.
Oh, no. Oh.
Oh.
She almost had Ultra. She didn't have enough right there to counter with it. But it might not have been a good idea because Ninja CW did whip before, and we saw that there was enough pushback from Balrog's Ultra.
Right. And that is going to make it come down to this single round right here. Winner moves on to the top 8. First round advantage goes to Ninja CW.
So Ninja CW getting really aggressive on Showstopper right here. Oh, gets the sun. Oh, inside connect grab. Oh, misses the connection to finish it off.
Going to give Showstopper an opportunity to go in here.
Wow.
Wow. Ninja CW does make it to the top 8. That was a pretty
unexpected
incredible match.
It was good to see someone, again, exploring one of the characters that people just throwing away. Don't know that we'll get the 900 hits in the Makoto section of SRK, but you know, we're seeing a few things here, like a few setups, definitely use of anti-air, use of command throw setups.
All right, so again, we had talked about this where Flo had defeated Sinister X, and that was a Dhalsim Chun-Li matchup. And I'm assuming we're going to see exactly the same thing here. Filipino Champ going to be on player 1, Flo on player 2. And Flo had a interesting game versus Juicebox early on.
The game is different.
It is different.
So Flo choosing to go with Jury. Jury being a poke character, has a really good set of pokes. This is the first Jury that we've seen on the live stream.
Yeah, you're right. So what does Filipino Champ really need to be watching out for and focusing on in this particular matchup?
One of the things I think that he's going to have to watch out for is obviously poke. When Jury gets in, she pokes a lot. She has the ability to keep that distance and really keep contain Dhalsim, as we're seeing now. Also, the dive kick, can be done very safely as we're watching now. And Filipino Champ hasn't really reacted yet to the dive kicks. And right there, EX pinwheel kick. has the ability to punish on in certain situations. Going with the Feng Shui engine and doesn't even really use it much, just gets a single hit.
And he takes that one pretty convincingly.
This might have been something that Flo has been saving for a time like this.
Now, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I gotta imagine someone who's comfortable playing Chun-Li is gonna have, you know, is gonna find a comfortable place with Juri.
Yeah, I think there are similarities. That's not. That could have been much worse. There are definitely similarities. Chun-Li, like in terms of ultras and whatnot, you don't have the ability to punish necessarily that Chun-Li does, but Chun-Li definitely can play. Like she can play more of a keep away game than Yuri does. Yuri has to kind of get in closer because her strength is mainly in her pokes, whereas Chun-Li has a few more options than Yuri does.
And Flo might win right here, but no. It's out of there before the ultra can hit.
Oh,
nice. Very, very nice.
So Filipino champ adjusting now to dive kick and missing. Sorry, Flo missing with the second impact and third strike, which are follow-ups to dive kick. Nice overhead.
Tied one round. Remember, loser goes home, winner advances on to take the last spot for the top 8. Oh! Yeah, expecting the pants to set on fire there, but they did not. Doing his best here. Oh,
Flo having
nice.
stored the kick projectile, going under the ultra, and then finishing off with a dive kick.
Flo puts himself on game point with that one. If he wins this, he will advance on and take the last spot of the top 8 for Devastation 2010.
Nice, an interesting hop over a slide.
I think Flo's been looking for that opportunity for a while. Filipino champ with the second throw there, and he is sit pretty nice here in this matchup versus Flo.
Looks like Filipino champ almost using an ultra as armor.
Right, that's exactly what it looked like to me. And he will pick up that round, wanting to even things up here. Don't let Flo have that advantage. Flo's still sitting on game point.
So that dive kick was a little bit too high, so Juri got punished on that.
Looks like it just took Filipino champ a moment to adjust. I mean, what we're seeing here seems to be much different than what we saw in the first game.
It looks like Filipino champ has adjusted to poking that Yuri has. The Feng Shui engine, Yuri, like Flo hasn't used it to its fullest advantage yet because Feng Shui engine is a custom combo and allows you to link about 6 or 7 moves together, which you normally wouldn't be able to link together, or rather cancel together.
This is going to set up our final game. The winner of this game will go on to face Ninja CW and will basically take the final spot of the top 8, joining the ranks of Alex Valle, Juicebox, Combo Fiend, Marn, Mike Ross, Bucktooth, and now Ninja CW. I'm pretty sure that many surprised to see Ninja CW there in that top 8. Good for him.
So Flo opting to go for Rufus, and Filipino champ, obviously staying with Dalsim. Haven't seen Flo pull out Rufus either yet.
Are you ready?
No. What do you feel about this character choice?
I think it's a good, if Flo, and it looks like he does have experience with the character, definitely a much better matchup than Jury was. Rufus is very, very good in Super. What it is that with Dalsim again, always about the keep away game. As we see with Rufus, dive kicks can actually hit the outstretched limbs. You can trade on that, but also you can use it to cover distance very, very quickly. So it has a dual purpose in this matchup. But Filipino champ used to it. Flo going for the chip damage.
An easy slide for the win. First round goes to Filipino champ, seems to be handling that normally, and he wins this round, and he will find himself in the top 8.
Nice throw set from the dive kick.
So kind of turning things around this time.
So that gets Filipino champ out of the corner, but I don't know that it's going to be enough to take this round.
Oh, this is going to be a tough one here.
Probably could have finished him with an EX snake strike after that the jumping roundhouse. Especially against Dalsim, the Big Bang Typhoon is just, I mean, Dalsim just throws things out there to get hit.
He lets it all out there. Yeah. And now this round will determine which of these players will fill that spot for the top 8.
Ooh, into the super. Nice setup by Filipino champ.
Of course, Flo now sitting on full super and ultra.
If anything, we're probably gonna, you're not gonna see a super, you're gonna see EX meter for EX Messiah and possibly a focus attack dash against him. But Filipino champ takes the last round against Flo. I think that Filipino champ versus Juicebox would be very interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
if it's possible, I think that's going to be interesting how it turns out.
Filipino champ moves on. Let's see, just out of curiosity, C1. It's very possible that could happen.
Okay.
Because, so Filipino champ now will face Ninja CW, and the loser of Juicebox and Valle goes to the bracket that winner goes to. So it's actually very possible we could see a Filipino champ Juicebox match, and you are right. That would.
I really just want to look to see what the animation's going to be at the end of that match if it happens.
I'm sure. Well, obviously anger and excitement. It's just about which one is going to actually grab it. So, guys, we have our top 8 for Super Street Fighter 4 Devastation 2010. They are as follows. In the winner's bracket, Alex Valle, Juicebox, they will be playing one another. Combo Fiend and Marn, they will be playing one another. In the loser's bracket, Mike Ross and Bucktooth will be playing, and then Filipino champ versus Ninja CW. Certainly the surprise of the top 8 has to be Ninja CW for sure. So congratulations to him. I also have the final schedule. For tomorrow, but we are officially underway, and there is our. Yeah, we've got Alex Valle versus Ivy-licious. Ivy on P1, Valle on P2. Alex Valle Definitely a favorite, you know, the talk of the town. To be, I mean, looking at least like a top 4 for him based off of people's predictions. But, you know, I think that Valle probably has the skills and the confidence that he thinks he can, you know, take this tournament. So this is just his first step of many to reach that goal.
Absolutely, I agree. And Valle, obviously, well known throughout many iterations of the game. Also represented U.S. in SBO tournament last year, along with Combo Fiends.
Right.
So again, and that really intense matchup against Ed Ma, and it escapes me who his partner was, but really intense matchup last year. So Alex definitely knows what he's doing, been playing a long time. Ryu, not much to be said. General purpose character of the game, has a response for every single situation. There's almost nothing he doesn't have a response for. Probably one of the most balanced characters in the game. Alex really just needed to tap him here, and then he gets it.
Good footsies from Valle to take round number 1. Of course, Valle's probably got plenty of practice versus Sea Viper, considering the eclectic group of players that he gets a chance to practice with on a regular basis.
Again, him pairing up with Combo Fiend, being a Viper player for a long time.
Exactly.
Martin now being on the West Coast, having been a Viper player. So, yeah, absolutely. It's a matchup that he has experience with. Nice little seismo chain there from Ivylicious. Oh, nice focus attack dash cancel on the Duke and follow up with the Tatsu. Alex cross the Tatsu. And Alex just opting to go for a simple combo to finish it off.
So, you know, kind of like updating the other brackets, because people were asking, you know, what other notable matches might we actually see here very soon. As this match continues, Cali Power did take game number 1. In this bracket, Cali Power also has Bucktooth and Tsumas, and then an interesting matchup that could happen is Juicebox versus Mike Ross in the quarterfinals. That could be a good one. And then also Marn and Kyoku is in the same bracket as Filipino champ and Mr. SNK. That could also yield a fairly interesting matchup as well. So we'll see as those continue to back up. Looks like Valle actually get pressured there a little bit.
So Ivylicious actually taking advantage of, actually proving a little bit what Martin says, using a lot of that burning kick cross-ups out on knockdowns after he gets knockdowns on Valle. So, but now Valle trying to play a little bit of that game on his own with cross-up Tatsus and, you know, cross-up medium kicks. Alex trying to counter there with SRK. Ivylicious getting caught by EX Hadouken a little bit more often than not.
In a good position for Valle, having that corner pressure, the throw to win the round. And this would be game point for Valle. Ivylicious must win this to stay alive. Nice.
Nice little cross up there. Alex not afraid to burn meter, not really worried about...
Definitely, yeah, and that can do a lot of damage right there. Valle will advance. And he will be sitting pretty in the quarterfinals of the winner bracket. We are now moving to Filipino champ versus Mr. SNK. You want to tell us?
I'm not sure if he was in UGTL 6, that I would have to check up on. Mr. SNK, we saw before, Honda versus Mike Ross. Don't know if he's going to go with that here. Filipino champ, known for his Dalsim play. Don't know that he will, I haven't seen what he's been playing lately, but I would say Dalsim probably not a horrible matchup versus Honda here. Pretty safe bet. See what happens.
All right, we will, and we're going to be jumping into these. I want to thank the admins of Devastation because they're just setting up stream matches back and forth, and this is what we hope to do, guys. Is we just hope it's match. That's what we're aiming for right here. So Filipino champ on P1, we're ready to go. Mr. SNK over on P2. and we have got Dulce versus Honda.
So this matchup gets a little better for Honda than it was in Vanilla, but the headbutts are going to give it a little bit more opportunity to trade when Dulcim chooses to extend his limbs, but I don't think it's really enough to make it in his favor.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people say Dulcim's second Ultra, definitely a difficult one to actually get off, a lot of positioning. Yes. How smart of a pick is that versus Honda? Is it something that he could get off easier versus a character like Honda, or?
I don't think it's something that's necessarily easier to get off on Honda. I think it's more a matter of Ultra 1 travels very slow, and you have to have a particular setup for that. With Ultra 2, you have more options. If you can land it, great, but you have more options to actually land it from a greater distance as opposed to Ultra 1, which really requires the character to be right next to you. And given that Dulcim is a keep-away player, a keep-away character, it's antithetical to what you need to do.
All right.
100-hand slap to standing roundhouse. Nice.
So we're going to probably see Mr. SNK just kind of trying to look for his opportunities. Is that beneficial, though, to Filipino champ, being that he's playing a keep-away character?
He's playing keep-away, but again, he has to be really aware of Mr. SNK's EX bar. And that's, now that's a situation where he might have followed up with Ultra, got a little bit more chip damage. So.
Oh!
I believe that's standing medium punch.
It's a nice anti-air. And Filipino champ will pick up that first round.
So yeah, Filipino champ has to be aware of EX meter on Mr. SNK's side because of the EX headbutt. He does gain vulnerability frames now on that. So, and it is, I don't know if it's, if he throws a fierce fireball, I believe he has enough invulnerability frames to get through it, but Dulcim's projectiles are typically slower.
Right.
But Honda definitely can't get through Ryu, Guile, Seth's projectiles with the EX headbutt.
Oh, there it is again. He's obviously played plenty of Hondas.
So now Filipino champ just sitting back. Mr. SNK does have one EX bar. Doesn't want to give him the opportunity to get him more. Filipino champ not really doing anything there. I don't know, like he didn't have a chance to land Ultra 2. Might have had a better setup there in that situation if he had chosen Ultra 1.
Right, okay. And as a Dulce player, when you've got that health advantage, you're going to want to just, I mean, in that case, Mr. SNK was staying back, and Filipino champ's going to be completely fine with a situation like that.
Yes, but Dulcim players in general are going to want to do that because Dulcim is low life. Dulcim, I think, is 900, 950 life, so Dulcim needs to keep back because one hit is a much bigger impact than from if you're taking it from another character.
All right, well, Filipino champ did pick up the first game. Now, of course, these are best of threes and best of 3 rounds. And this is currently the winner brackets, or top 32, if you will.
Was able to actually land the, that's a move that actually got, I believe, got improvement in this.
Oh!
Gets him in the teleport.
That was kind of interesting to see how that went down.
Oh, nice CX headbutt. Oh, and just goes for an Ochio throw to finish it off.
Probably one of the worst situations Dulcim could be in, cornered by Honda. I mean, of the worst situations for this particular matchup, I've got to guess that's in the
So when Honda gets in close, he has options to, he doesn't have a great, like his mix-up game isn't tremendous, but he does have the ability to be sneaky with Ochio throw when knockdown opponents wake up. Because throws, you can actually throw out a wake up on wake up now, as opposed to older versions of the game where you couldn't do that.
All right.
Oh, and able to land it. So I think Filipino champ being a little bit, having a little bit of trepidation, knowing that Honda's sitting on EX and on Ultra 1. Also, don't think he's going to try to teleport in again after what happened last round.
Yeah, I would guess that's probably not another mistake he's going to make on that one.
So now you see Filipino champ moving in, trying to move in as just a little bit. Trying to create those setups, at least maybe some anti-air setups. That's why because Dalsim's fireballs eventually fade away. So as he walks in, he throws it. It forces Honda into a situation where he either blocks, and at this point, chip damage is starting to make a difference.
And the time also running down as well.
So now it looks like Filipino champ, unless Mr. SSF4 pulls out the Ultra, even now it'll probably time out. So it looks like Filipino champ is going to take this to last round.
It all comes down to this. Fight!
So Filipino champ takes that on a time over, and he is sitting on game point right now. He will be facing the winner of Marn versus Kyoku, which is actually going to be the next match that we're going to feature.
So I like the fact that Filipino champ's staying on super right now. So he is able to get one of his teleport setups.
Which he did do in the first game.
Which he did do. If he gets one of his teleport setups to the stand kick to the Yoga Flame, then he can follow up with the super for a good amount of damage. Oh, nice anti-air roundhouse. And those are the kind of setups that we're talking about, where you force Honda or your opponent into a decision as Dalsim. His standing roundhouse to the knee is an incredible anti-air.
Mr. SNK being very patient as he tries to get in. We've seen these patient Hondas before.
Trying to bait something to teleport into the same space.
And is Mr. SNK definitely with the advantage? He's got the health advantage right now, maybe just by a sliver.
Just by a sliver, but again, he's Filipino champ sitting on full super. Now he has in a corner, and now he's able to apply fireball pressure and force things like that, where he can punish or at least force a decision on Mr. SNK's part. And now Mr. SNK has to go on the defensive. And it looks like Filipino champ's going to time out again.
All right. And Filipino champ will move on. And coming up next, we're going to have Marn versus Kyoku.
Looks like they're going through button checks right now.
All right. Up next, we've got another winner's bracket matchup between Marn and Kyoku. The winner of this matchup will go on to face Filipino champ in the quarterfinals of the winner's bracket.
So Marn opting to stick with Ultra One, as we discussed before, as a conversation we had before. Kyoku going with Ultra 2 for Bison. That makes Bison much, much better in this matchup in particular, as well as it wouldn't be an Ultra that I would pick for, say, against like Balrog, for example, but for this particular matchup where you have a character that jumps around a lot, also anchors herself to the ground a lot with size modes and whatnot.
And that makes a lot of sense.
Has a lot of potential to do big damage. Now, whether or not he's going to be able to execute is a separate story because he's up against Marn,
who is quite the beast.
So Kyoku trying to cross up there, but not really getting the distance needed. And there we go. That's going to do big damage. Nice little cross-up burning kick by Marn. It's one of the things that makes Viper so tricky. When she has her jump arc, it brings you in and you think that she's going to come up front, but the burning kick just takes her right to the other side.
Right. And I think one of the reasons why Martin really enjoys playing this character, I know that he likes to kind of, play with his opponent in that way. A lot of this is about mind games and trying to trick your opponent and mixing it up a little bit. And as it stands there, we'll see the first round go to Marn. Marn recently joined Team Evil Geniuses, which was kind of a big news item in the fighting game community. It's something that we have been you know, we've been actually talking about on Live on 3 a lot because we want to see the fighting game community thrive, and things like that are exactly.
And if I'm not mistaken, Evil Geniuses has been primarily FPS kind of games until now.
They've got a Counter-Strike team, a StarCraft 2 team, StarCraft 1
strategy
team,
as well.
Warcraft 3. Yeah, so you know, I would say more PC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, but this is their first extension into
Absolutely.
FGC community.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe we'll see more of that kind of crossover.
I would love to see more of that, you know. I want these players to have the support to be able to go to the tournaments, whether they're local or internationally, etc. So let's get back in the action as Marn did win game 1, and he's looking to take this in 2.
So EX Psycho Crusher being a big advantage for Bison. It's always his getaway card. EX Psycho Crusher.
There's the Ultra. Is there anything specifically in, you know, Bison's tool of tricks that he would want to really be utilizing, or is ultra effective versus someone like C Viper?
So as a point of reference, I'm going to use Andre Lambert, who's arguably one of the best Bisons in the country from the East Coast. He does not play this kind of Bison. He has a much more aggressive Bison. Bison has the potential to apply a massive amount of pressure with scissor kicks and links, and he builds up a tremendous amount of meter in the process of doing so. The thing is, Kyoku right here is not applying that pressure, and if you can do it and you're not doing it, then something's not clicking in my opinion. So, and Martin has been hitting those links to Ultra. That's the 3rd time he's hit this match alone. Nice little teleport to get away from a cross-up burning kick by Kyoku.
Marn going in for the kill. He only needs 1 hit, and there it's going to be. Marn will advance, and that's going to set up our first quarterfinal match. I don't think we're going to see it quite yet. In fact, it looks like we're going to have a losers bracket match coming.
Choose. I feel a little sad almost. According to May 2010, I play winner tier list. Regardless of whether or not you agree with it, Rufus is 1, Makoto is last or second to last.
Right.
And a common phrase that you hear from a lot of people is, oh, the sadness that is Makoto. She is what a lot of people would say is a pale imitation of what she was in Third Strike.
Right.
Whether or not Ninja Cow can actually do something with this right now, I'm hoping so, because I would love to see high-level Makoto play, but it's not something I've seen to this day.
All right. Well, so we'll be looking out for that, and obviously, you know, we've seen Rufus in tournaments since Street Fighter Vanilla has been released, and always been a go-to and favorited character.
So Makoto is very strong. She's a strong character, but her normals have a lot of startup time. Her moves are not fast. But if she lands the moves, they're powerful. So Damitsu now is going to try to apply that dive kick pressure. But jumping in naked against Makoto like that, generally not a good idea, especially a dive kick from so high, because she can do the command grab, which opens up to a free hit, like we just saw. Drop the Tornado Galaxy right there. Looks like Damitsu not really comfortable with executing the links, and therefore going for some throw setups as opposed to getting the Tornado Galaxy even on hit.
Okay. So Damitsu takes that first round. So far, you've read it pretty right, although Ninja CW got some early damage there with Makoto. Once Damitsu kind of got his flow and got the corner.
So that's what we were talking about before. EX Messiah kick on Wake Up is generally a pretty good move on Wake Up if you know the matchup. EX Snake Strike. Nice overhead chop. Again, Damitsu dropping the opportunity to follow up after dive kicks. And also, I really don't like how high he's hitting those dive kicks right now. I mean, he's succeeding with them. Oh,
should be lower.
Nice.
Ooh.
doubled up the SRK.
Wow.
Makoto doubled up the SRK into the overhead kick, so that was a nice move on Ninja Cow's part to take the round.
You were mentioning about the dive kits were now tied around a piece, but you felt like they should have come in a little bit lower?
I think there's a time and place for him. I think where he was placing them, they were too high, and I thought that opens him up on when he lands. Right there, EX command, throw, and free. Another one.
CW.
Snake strike, good.
Like he could have had more of a combo there.
Oh, there we go. Sam Rahelson's Ultra Set. So, going back to what we talked about before in terms of Ultra selection with Rufus, against projectile characters, you're going to see number 2 typically. But against characters that don't have projectiles, you're going to want to see the traditional setups.
All right, Makoto quickly trying to get out of there. And we're going to see Danny Mitsu take that first game
now,
as Rufus.
I don't know Ninja Cow as a player that well, so I don't know if Ninja Cow has secondary. Apparently, he's going to stick with Makoto. So.
Did you see anything in either person's play that, well, actually specifically Ninja CW? You know,
sorry, I kept calling Ninja Cow.
Oh, that's okay. It's okay. That he could do better, you know, against you know, Rufus specific. It you know, it definitely seems like he knows when to get in, he knows when to get out, but well, he takes that round. So whatever he did differently that time.
I think that what we're seeing here on Ninja CW's part is, to be quite honest, a little bit of lack of execution on Dan Mitsu's part. I see a lot of dive kicks that are not really timed to land, like hit right at the bottom of the hit. He's dropping some links and opting to go for some throw setups, which are not really what you want to do in that situation. You really are trying to set up for Tornado Galaxy. And that's the link that you have to know as a Rufus player. It's what we see from Justin, it's what we see from Marn, and we got the roundhouse setup to the Big Bang Symphony. Well, but Ninja CW holding up very well, and again, it's he's not hitting those Tornado Galaxies.
And he's got to win this in order to stay alive. Should Danny Mitsu come back in 2 rounds? Oh, no.
I like Ninja CW's use of the overhead kick just sparingly, just to get, you know, almost like an overhead, you know, just to kind of mix it up a little bit, but not too much so that it, you know, that becomes predictable.
So we're going to go to the 3rd and final game. We've split games between Ninja CW and Danny Mitsu.
Danny Mitsu dropping the link again. Oh, nice little double punch into dash.
Do you think that there's any sort of, you know, maybe just unfamiliarity of playing against the Makoto too? Because as you mentioned, as a lower tier character, maybe you don't see her as much, or maybe you don't get as much practice. I always wondered if that was an issue, especially with Super and some of the characters we might not see.
It's definitely possible. There's a lot of things about Super. I mean, don't get me wrong, top level players know a lot more than people who don't play, but even still, we're learning a lot about the game, and we've seen that in tournaments that are going on even now.
Right.
Top level players maybe not even hitting where you expect him, not hitting top 32, top 16. Look at ECT2. ECT2, top 16 was very different than what one might have expected in vanilla.
Right on. Speaking of East Coast Throwdown 2, shout out to Sweet Johnny Cage.
Yes, Sweet Johnny Cage. Picking up the Ustream app to watch Devastation.
Yep.
That was who we were referring to before.
Yes, it was. Yes, he told me on Twitter, and I got to give him a shout out.
So now Dan Mitsu getting aggressive, going through the throw setups. But it is working for him up to now. But Ninja CW applying pressure. Oh, into the super and into the ultra. This is going to finish. This should finish it.
And it does. And Ninja CW wins it.
And that's the best setup that Ninja CW had as disposal as Makoto. So when you have full super, you have Ultra 1, you go into the rage, get 25% on all your damage, then 25% on top of the Ultra.
Pretty hot stuff. And Ross, I think that this one is going to be a great one.
This. And Mike Ross, when he plays, he is definitely not the animated character that Juicebox Abel is. So I'm looking to see how this goes down. And it looks like the matchup is going to be Abel, obviously, versus Honda.
And we've got Juicebox Abel, obviously, is P1, Mike Ross P2. They're going to shake hands, and we are underway. This is actually a quarterfinal matchup, so the winner of this match guarantees a spot in the top 8 for the finals that'll take place tomorrow. And likely to, I'm going to guess, probably be facing Valle in that matchup. So let's go right to the action. Juicebox Abel versus Mike Ross.
So Mike Ross choosing to go with Ultra 2, the Orochi Breaker. It's a command grab. It's something that you'll want to pick typically when you deal with grapplers like Abel. Abel's a grappler style player. So nice poke by Mike Ross who's staying roundhouse. Nice CX headbutt again. So now Juicebox Abel's going to want to start with the pressure. Try to cross up there, but Mike Ross getting out with the EX sumo butt. Not the EX, sorry. 100 hands. Set with another 100 hands.
Interesting. Not even on the bars now.
So Honda's standing roundhouse actually fairly quick compared to most other. I think the only other people who have faster standing roundhouse. I think Zangief has a faster standing roundhouse, but definitely a good poke option that is used by a lot of Honda players. And also used as a finisher on combos. There goes the Reckless, but because he was already over him, had to cancel it. But gets the tornado throw, finish Mike Ross for that.
Yes, it is. And Juicebox takes that first round. On a scale of like 1 to 10, where would you put this matchup for both these players? Who's got the tougher mountain to climb?
I would actually say it's pretty even.
Even?
Yeah. I don't know the matchup list offhand, but I think most people would say it's 5-5. Oh. Mike Ross going for the Super Ocho.
Looks like he was just a centimeter away from that. I'm guessing Juicebox waiting to use that Ultra in any case he can.
But Mike Ross, now having used the rest of his EX meter, but using EX headbutts a lot to really just keep distance, to keep that distance away, keep Juicebox away from him. So that's one of the advantages that Honda has over Abel in this matchup, in the sense that the headbutts will put distance between you and the other character, and the 100-hand slap as well. It has the potential to push away,
which he used very effectively in the corner.
Yes.
So we're split games right now, or split rounds right now in game number 1. Finally, Juicebox applying a little bit of pressure there.
So now Juicebox applying pressure with the low kicks and the stand forward, trying to keep that pattern going. Not pattern, but keep the sequence going. Nice focus cancel into EX overhead hit.
Twice Ross has done that right there. And Mike Ross not very happy about that. And that is going to end it to give Juicebox the first game. What do you think of that?
I think that Juicebox landed Ultra perfectly. He timed when he saw that Mike Ross was going to stay on the ground. Probably tried to predict that something was going to come out. Just activated Breathless instantly.
So here we are, game number 2. Juicebox took the first game. This is a quarterfinal matchup. Winners guaranteed a spot in tomorrow's semifinals. Right now, Juicebox with that advantage, I gotta imagine that he's gonna feel a lot more comfortable with that huge health advantage he's got over his opponent.
So Mike Ross really suffering here, really not responding to the pressure that Abel is applying here. And there we go, double 100 hands.
Oh. And Juicebox gonna pick up another round. This is gonna be game point round for Juicebox. And I think he might surprise a lot of folks if he manages to pull it off. Mike Ross, though, gotta believe. throwing that.
Like we've seen with Breathless a few times before, it's one of those things that you have to be very precise in landing. I mean,
right.
You can always charge, but if you don't have the setup right, you have to give it up.
Well, Mike is low. He decides to move in. And Juicebox is going to find himself in the semifinals. Now, Mike Ross is not out of it. He's just down in the losers bracket. Just means that his job's going to be a little bit tougher. And now we're going on to Valle versus Bucktooth. And this match will determine who will go on to face Juicebox in that semifinal tomorrow. So, I mean, I got to imagine favorite being Valle. I remember Bucktooth competing last year at Devastation 2009. Valle actually was not here. Finals was between John Choi and Justin Wong. So, you know, Valle looking to make another mark here, just another step that he's got to take. So, Valle versus Buck. And yeah, I think we're, oh, good, okay.
Looks like they're ready to go. It looks like we're going to have a Buki from Bucktooth.
So Alex Valle, player 1 versus Bucktooth, player 2. Valle going to play as Ryu, and of course Bucktooth is going to be dropping a Buki. And I'm fond of her play. I've watched the combo videos.
As we've seen earlier.
I can't reproduce any of them, but I just like her.
Give yourself a little credit. You can do target combo to spin kick.
You're right. Oh yeah.
But the Vortex, you need a little work.
A lot of work. A lot of work. So I'm excited to see what we're going to see here out of Bucktooth. And you know, we've already seen a couple surprises, so who knows what can happen here.
So nice use of the kunai there, prevent from landing on Hadouken. Valle, as we've seen so many times before, just rushing it down.
Yep. Words made famous.
So the overhead on Ibuki's part, definitely not safe on block.
And there are two competitors. Even saw a shot at Juicebox back there, still so excited after his win over Mike Ross. Himself.
Rare drop by Valle right there. He had the crouching medium punch, but really didn't follow up with anything. Oh. Nice use of a focus attack, but wasn't able to land the target combo afterward. And as you know, the target combo sets up a lot for Ibuki.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But also, you know, having a little bit of problem there, it finally is.
Nice little spin kick to the dragon kick. Bucktooth has to be a little bit more careful with that slide. The slide is definitely not, the slide, it's tricky to keep safe, so it's something that if she does it way too close, she's going to get punished on.
You know, again, I am not a precise player, but I've found situations where it can sort of come out maybe when you don't want it necessarily to come out. But yeah, absolutely right. Totally unsafe. And that means the first game is going to go to Valle on that one. And now we'll reset.
I really like Bucktooth's use of the spin kick almost as a poke maneuver, keeping it just out of range, but will opt to take 2 hits instead of trying to go for more.
And of course, you can go with the high or the low, which he used in the last one, and seemed to work out pretty well. But that strategy that he's employing in this game seemed to be working a little bit better. Of course, Valle going to be looking for those opportunities to make his way in with Ryu, and if he does it, there goes 25–30% of the bar.
Oh, trying to look for try to start some Vortex action, but it wasn't an untechable knockdown, so it didn't have the opportunity.
Interesting use of the Ultra by Valle. That will be a round going to Bucktooth.
Nice slide under the Hadouken by Ibuki. So that is one of the good uses of the slide, that you can get under fireballs by Ryu. It's not something that I think Bucktooth has the opportunity to use in this particular matchup, simply because Valle is always so close when he rushes it down.
We did see
and again,
Bucktooth.
We saw the punish right there against the slide.
And he did have a missed opportunity there after the first 2 hits of that target combo. I like that.
Nice little use of dash teleport to, again, get the throw.
Valle sort of resetting his position there. Ooh.
Valle didn't really connect with the link there, so it looks like Valle's pretty
nice.
The match.
Round back for Valle now, as he only needs this next round in order to advance on to the semifinals, where he will face Juicebox tomorrow in what will surely be an entertaining game. Also, Ibuki sitting on a full super right now. Burning a couple of those bars right there.
Now, Ibuki's super, not necessarily the most, not something you want to connect with really. It is something you can connect with. You can set it up, use it, but you're typically going to use it for EX consumption more so than the super itself. As opposed to, say, Ryu, whose super is tremendously versatile and we use all the time. Ah, nice EX neckbreaker.
Nice. So Bucktooth is going to take a game away from Valle. Some better execution that time, I think, with Ibuki than what we saw in round one.
Ah, nice mix-up with the high and the low to get trip up Valle.
And he's actually been going with the low more often than not, with the exception of when he was sort of zoning with that kick.
Bucktooth really trying to get a setup with the kunai, like a cross-up, but Valle always coming out with the Shoryuken.
Ooh.
Finally gets that overhead setup that he's been trying to pass around. Oh, and here we go. Didn't connect fully though. If it connected fully, we would have had the full animation. But it was because Valle, I think, was in the air and it wasn't a ground connect.
And so that means Bucktooth is going to put himself on game point. We could have an interesting turn of events, possibly Bucktooth versus Juicebox. Who knows? Juicebox got to be watching on to see this matchup. Valle right now with the health advantage. A lot of those combos that he got in the first game that he won, not either getting blocked or better protected by Bucktooth.
Now, Ibuki's sitting on EX and Ultraker. Valle doesn't have, he only has one EX. Oh, it gets a nice cross-up. Now looking for some Vortex move, but wasn't able to connect there. Going for the overhead. Valle playing slightly conservatively now that he's put on match point, game point.
He's going to continue pressure in the corner. Valle going in, goes to the throw tech.
Now Ibuki's going to use, I would say Ibuki's going to use some of that EX meter for some chip damage. Especially Valle's caught Ibuki a few times with EX Hadoukens when she tried counter with the kunai, just like there. But if she uses the EX kunai, she might have a chance to nullify that.
Right. Time ticking away.
So now putting Ibuki on the offensive. It's not going to be enough chip damage.
There it is. Nice. Valle staying alive. A lot of people on edge there in that round.
Absolutely. So now we're down to the final round of this match.
It looks like we're going to have Combo Fiend versus Ninja CW coming up next. A lot of people definitely watching onto this one. Ibuki now with a full bar.
Looks like Bucktooth really being very content with a nice trade to Dragon Kick. Being really content to chip away with the spin kick.
And it seems to be really effective. So
has really good understanding of the spacing required for it to do that. Save it, neck breaker, Vortex.
Nice job.
So you might keep hearing me say Vortex. So the neck breaker is an untechable knockdown, meaning that they can't do a quick get up. So which means that you can predict the timing when they're going to get up, and that allows for certain setups which are very ambiguous.
And once again, we're close in the corner. Valle with the throw. Oh, nice.
And Vi just applying the pressure there in the corner to just take it from Bucktooth. But very, very good good showing by Bucktooth against Vi.
All right. Great, great match. And roll, guys. We have got Ninja CW taking on Combo Fiend. Now, let me throw something out there. You know, Danny Mintu, you know, obviously good enough to make it out of his pools. Ninja CW. I just got to believe that, you know, Combo Fiend, despite the fact that he is using Guy, probably has the advantage here just for the fact that the amount of high-level play he is constantly exposed to, right?
Exactly. It is Combo Fiend, and look, landing target combos into the into elbow, then doing the drop elbow, very easily taking care of Ninja CW in that first round. Guy, again, not a top tier, for all the tier whores out there, not a top tier player, but Makoto's even lower than Guy. And it's just, but you know, Peter is very good at what he does, and he's been very good at it for a long time, through his MVC2 days, up to Street Fighter 4 in vanilla with Viper, to now. So, and as we see, he knows how to land, he knows how to make the most of the situation. Land a target combo into Ultra, and that's it that's the first game.
That was the first game, and a quick one at that. And of course, the winner of this will set up the next semifinal match, this first spot, as we will then have Marn versus Filipino Champ coming up next.
Now Ninja CW trying to wake up with her own version of the SRK and then link it and then combo into a second one. Probably one of her more effective combos that she has if she can get him in the air, but it's a very difficult thing, and Guy has a very non-traditional jump arc compared to other characters in the game.
It's a little floaty.
Yes. Well, floaty and also kind of like almost like more horizontal than vertical. EX elbow there from Peter, and now we're down to final round. Peter, if he pulls this out, he advances. And my apologies for I had said that it was Combo Fiend versus Guru. I read the brackets wrong. As everyone can see, it is Combo Fiend versus Ninja CW. So my apologies for that.
I believe the Combo Fiend Guru match actually happened off stage. So this is just a match that is moving in there.
So Peter's so good at landing all those target combos and ending with a special. I mean, he's literally almost all of his damage has been exclusively from that target combo to the EX to the Tatsu or to the elbow or to Ultra.
That was a hell of a showing there by Combo Fiend, and probably one of the fastest matches that we have seen here. Marn is P1 and Filipino Champ is player 2. And if we just know their characters, even with my limited knowledge here, knowing the mobility and sort of the movement advantage that C Viper has, I gotta imagine that this is a hella difficult fight for Dalsim. But maybe I'm totally wrong.
It is one of those ones. Like, she has the ability to close distance very, very quick with a super jump. So Dalsim being a keep away character, it's one of those things where, as you see now, she's just getting in all over him. And Dalsim doesn't do horribly well when characters are in his face. And we're seeing Martin now applying the pressure, trying, getting in on Filipino Champ.
And Martin said he was going to be using C Viper. He has been toying around with some other characters, but he just says that he doesn't feel comfortable enough to be able to win a tournament with them yet.
And there's that link that we've seen from Martin a few times before.
He's got it down to a science, pretty much.
Oh. So tries to wake up with the burn kick, I believe, and then trades with the Ultra.
Will the tide of battle turn? Fight!
And Filipino Champ will take a round there. Remember, the winner of this matchup will go on to face Combo Fiend tomorrow in the winner bracket semifinal. It's Filipino Champ with a Ultra win. Nice moves there by Filipino Champ. Avoiding some of that damage, and a good teleport as well. Mark's going to finally get that and jump in and now do as much damage as he possibly can. But Marn will sit a little bit better in this round than he was in the last. Wow.
So before Filipino champ got hit, hoping to set up for the Ultra and teleport behind, but unfortunately got hit.
Right.
Was not able to get the teleport from behind and get the cross-up.
And that's going to tie us up in a round. We're still on game number 1 in this quarterfinal matchup. Winner goes on to face Combo Fiend, who made quick work of Ninja CW in the last matchup. Marn getting a little bit more aggressive this time around.
Filipino champ doing fairly well against corner pressure. I mean, this is going to end it here, but for the most part, handling the pressure that Viper places upon him very, very well.
How important is Dulcine's teleport when being pressured? Well, I guess by any character in the corner is important, but anything specifically about C Viper?
If you have high mobility moves, if you're playing against an opponent who has high mobility moves, the teleport can actually hurt you depending on where you are. If you don't execute it right, or if you execute it at the wrong time, you're going to end up putting yourself in a really bad position because your opponent's going to be able to cover the distance and able to punch you on the teleport.
He's going to land it again. And first round will go to Marn. He's setting on game point right now.
What will happen now?
We already know one winner bracket semifinal. That's Alex Valle versus Juicebox. And we know that Combo Fiend is sitting pretty in one of them. And the winner of this matchup will go to face Combo Fiend.
Nice little size on chain there. So now we're going to look at,
Marn in the danger zone right now. But he links again to the Ultra. And it's enough to finish him. And that means that we have our top 4 for the winner's bracket. Alex Valle will be facing Juicebox for the winner bracket semifinal, and Combo Fiend will be facing Marn for the other winner bracket semifinal. Both those matches will definitely be very, very good ones, and ones that, of course, we'll be watching tomorrow for the finals. Tomorrow, day 3, Devastation 2010. It's finals all day long, and we're going to see everything from Blaz Blue to Tekken 6 to Super Street Fighter 4 and everything in between, so really looking forward to that. Got some special things in the store for that as well. But now it's time to switch our focus, because believe it or not, we've gotten to the point that we needed to get to for the winner's bracket, and now we're going to be focusing our attention to the loser's bracket, where things start getting a little hairy, because at this point you're playing to win in a way where if you lose, you're going home. Well, you technically don't got to go home, you're just not in the
But
tournament.
you just can't be on the stage.
Exactly. So we're going to be bringing up our...
He said, I've won and I want to just have fun with it, and that's what he's doing right now. And he's done fairly well. Obviously, he's made out of pools using just Guy. So, I mean, even though he's a lower tier character, according to some information sources, namely iPlayWinner, right. He's obviously making the best use of them.
And, you know, a lot of people, I was reading some of the chat comments as they were getting ready for Super Street Fighter 4, and they were saying that, you know, they didn't feel like anyone was super comfortable to be using the new characters yet. And I mean, I don't know that I've quite seen that. I think we've seen a pretty good selection of characters since Super's been released. But do you think that some players are still remaining reserved?
I do. And I think that one of the things that we've seen since Super's come out is that it's not just the new characters that are factoring into the equation.
Right.
It's the changes that have been made to all of the existing characters. Take, for example, Rufus is Ultra 2. Right. I mean, Rufus was already a very good character. Now you give him this godlike Ultra 2, which is ridiculous by almost anyone's measurement, and that changes things completely. Balrog gets almost no nerfs at all,
right.
So he elevates even higher in the pack. Guile, most improved player in the game by far. he plays very much like Super Turbo, where he was very dominant. Only thing he was more dominant in was the original World Warrior edition. So, Marn with the taunt and the rose after the dizzy. Marn always liking to be a little bit flamboyant during his matches, whether
definitely.
it be in-game or out of game, throwing candy to his fans or throwing a rose in the game.
And he's done very well this tournament. You know, Super is the third tournament that he's entered. He also he won the Guilty Gear XX tournament by himself. It was a 2v2 team. He was a one-man team.
Did he?
He OCV'd everyone. And then he's in the Tatsunoko versus Capcom finals. So obviously Marn is one of the many top-tier players that is looking to steal one of the top places here at Devastation 2000.
That was a nice little EX machine gun to the follow-up, but missed the opportunity in the corner.
Of the new characters, do you have a preference as to which one you kind of like?
You know, for some reason, Cody appeals to me. He has a great set of normals. He's definitely enhanced by the knife.
Right.
Can't say I'm there yet, but there are a lot of people here. Saber in particular has been playing Cody very well. I'm not sure I haven't looked at the brackets yet. I think he did make it out of pools, but hopefully we'll get a chance to see him later when if he does make it.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'm definitely excited, and I like to see a lot of the players, playing around with different characters. I know that a lot have been toying around with Guile. I think all of them are at least trying to see, is this the character that I want to have in my arsenal or not?
I think that it's. I don't want to disrespect the Guile players, but I think that so many of us have probably played Guile in ST and know that character, at least how he plays very well, and it's just familiar. So a lot of us just default to him as backup automatically.
Right.
So, I mean, even if you have not played Super Street Fighter 4 at all before, if you played ST, if you played HDR, you could probably pick up Guile really quickly. Or even CVS too.
Right. Well, and of course, after Daigo picked Guile and started using him, there was a huge influx of people. But I mean, it was generally seen by the community that it was a character that people need to reevaluate.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He has a new set of moves. He gets his hops back, so he's able to do, like, for example, his forward low kick with the hop forward, hop back. He gets his overhead kick priority back. He gets a lot of changes to his normals, which just weren't there. Flash kick still isn't where one might want it to be. It's definitely going to be your priority for anti-air, but it's not going to be. It's probably not going to be a thing that you're going to go to right away. But in terms of, he still has phenomenal reaction time after sonic booms. He still can play a very defensive game, turtle game, just like he always did, and that's exactly what you see now when you see Guile players.
Now, you talked a little bit about Combo Fiend choosing Guy and kind of saying, I want to have fun with it. Obviously, a big change in play style from C Viper, which was like a huge level of management in what you were doing.
Yeah,
in the game.
so C Viper required a lot of precise timing in order to get our combos. And the other thing is that not all the options that C Viper had in vanilla exist in Super now. So it's not massive, but there are slight changes. You don't see, for example, Flash Metroid, when he plays, you don't see a lot of attempts at cross-up burning kicks anymore, at least in this iteration of Super. Now, whether or not that's because of a change to the burning kick or because of just not being aware of wake-up options on the part of the players, that's really something that you're not seeing. Didn't see a lot of East Coast throw-around when we saw Viper players. Going back to Peter, like you said, he just wants to have fun. He also commented on the precision needed. Obviously, Peter does have the precision, but he says, Guy, just a more fun character to play, easier on the inputs. Quarter circle forward, quarter circle back.
When you have to, keep that up every single match, I'm sure that it can get, very daunting and tiring.
And that goes to the tournament style mentality, because when you play casuals, that's one thing, but tournament style play, it's something that most pro players, they have two characters. They have one character who they can play almost mindless when they play, so that they can get through lower level matchups very quickly, and then when it gets to higher level matchups where they actually have to start thinking about what they're doing, that's when they switch to their other characters. And forks to cross, catches him full ultra. That'll obviously finish it. Keep it classy.
So they've been trading games back and forth here as Marn and Combo Feet continue. If you just joined us here for Devastation 2010, these are just exhibition matches at this point. We are working on the brackets, right? Well, I'm personally not working on the brackets, and neither is Nick, but we're waiting for Devastation to deliver us the brackets, and from there, we're going to have a really good outlook on, you know, what's going to happen here in this tournament, right? So I'm excited, and I'm just waiting for those brackets to make it here. Now, you weren't were you at Devastation?
I was not at Devastation 2009, but I did watch it.
Right, because you know, one of the things there, you know, with the Street Fighter tournament that they had, there were some bracket, I wouldn't say complaints, but questions, and there were some early matchups that happened that, you know, maybe some players were like, oh, those players should be meeting so early. I know that was something that Devastation really planned to improve on, and honestly, they did a great job so far with all the other tournaments, so I expect the exact same thing. You know,
absolutely, and that's something that we've seen. I mean, it happens at a lot of major tournaments because when you get such an influx of highly talented players, you want to try for random distribution, but then ultimately you find you have one pool that just is overwhelming. It's like, there's a marketing aspect to this too, and it's also a fairness aspect as well. If you've gotten to a level where you are a top player, why should you automatically, if you've already paid your dues, why should you have to pay so early again?
Right, and you know, then there's the other side of the argument that's like, you know, sure, we have regional Ranbats, we have local Ranbats going on, but we don't really have any sort of like nations rankings per se, and you know, that's been something that's been talked about back and forth, you know, about different sites and whatnot. But I mean, it does bring up an interesting.
Just recently on, I think 2 weeks ago, live on 3, a discussion about MLG and Super Street Fighter 4. As long as we're talking about national bodies and organizations, forget about all the other aspects, just to get everyone under one roof.
Absolutely, yeah. So. And you know, it's a part of you know, it's a part as the competitive gaming scene continues to grow. You know, growing pains will happen, and we have to get through those. But again, we're waiting for the brackets. We've got Combo Fiend and Marn up on deck. On the other side, it looks like got a few other players. I saw Valle up here playing. I saw a Filipino champ. We got Mike Ross. Okay. You can still play, guys. Oh, they say it's 2-2.
Can't leave that unresolved.
No, you can't. You can't.
Even casuals are serious.
All right, 2-2, they said.
So we have Peter applying some pressure at Guy, belly in the corner.
All right, so the well, Marn just said, hey, we're 2-2.
Yes.
This is serious business. So,
and Marn playing much more aggressively in these matchups than the previous ones, and that's obviously going to take the round.
Did you see? Did you happen to watch any of the pool play from these guys?
I did see a little bit of Peter's play. I didn't get a chance to see Marn's play.
And was he playing Guy?
I'm sorry?
Was he playing Guy?
Peter was playing Guy.
Okay.
Peter is playing Guy almost exclusively.
Okay,
as far as I know, it's just going to be Guy from this point on.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that one right there. Of course, Marn picking up that first round.
And Guy also playing very much like his alpha counterpart as well. Like a lot of the same trajectories on his moves, really keeping the same feeling and style that he had in alpha. So if people have played that game, of course, translates really well here.
Okay.
Nice cross up there by Peter going into the target combo, but opting to go for the throw after instead of finishing it off. Which isn't guaranteed, by the way.
Peter's got to get this one to stay in.
Trying to bait Peter into a hit, but Marn regretting the decision, laughing about it.
Yeah,
too.
he looked over here and said, maybe that wasn't the smartest thing in the world. Oh, excellent. So yeah, down below you can see we're not in bracketed play. You're not like, oh my gosh, how many games did I miss if it's Marn versus Combo Fiend right now? No, this is just casual play. These guys are tied 2-2, and it's down to this round.
Nice EX wake up Tatsu by Peter. That EX Tatsu has some frames on frames on vulnerability on wake up.
Are there any other top tier players messing around with Dudley at all that you know of?
You know, I haven't seen a lot that have been messing around with Dudley per se. Oh, that's going to be the full. That should finish it off. Yep. It looks like Marn is settled the best of 5.
Yeah, so I think he.
I do remember there were some other Dudley players in ECT too, but I think it was in lower level play. It wasn't a top tier play.
Okay, so we're going to get another group set up here. We're still waiting on the brackets. If you just joined us on DJ Weed, this is Nick, aka Casper1. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate
as always. And you've recently just come off doing some events as well. Tell me about those.
I was at East Coast Throwdown doing commentary there with your own Rod Slasher Breslow. Is that correct?
Right.
He's very particular about that.
Yeah.
Also had a number of players, shout outs to East Coast players who participated on a stream and helped out with the commentary. Stream was provided by frameadvantage.com, so, and also the whole thing was run by Sweet Giant Cage. It was, to this point, the largest Super Street Fighter 4 tournament with, I believe, 368 entrants, and also Evo seeds. So that was very important. So Justin walked away from there with a seed, a preferred seed in Evo. And for those who don't know, this year they're doing preferred seeding as opposed to passing by pool play. So everyone starts at the bottom.
Right.
And Justin actually being a big fan of that, saying that, you know what, he actually agrees with the decision to put everyone in from the beginning. Yeah, so
I've got a lot of respect for that personally. I think that's great. And why wouldn't you just want to play a little bit more?
Well, this year at Evo we have over 2,000 participants, which is double what we had at. I'm sorry, which is double what the participation was last year. So if you think about it, you've gone up, and then now that's doubled essentially.
That's insane. That's insane. All right, so
Mike Ross taking a phone call while he's getting up. Now we have a mirror match. Mike Ross against Mr. SNK on the left-hand side. Mike Ross having kind of shied away from the scene for a little bit, but now coming very strong. UGTL, NorCal Regionals.
Yeah. He's working on a new show, I know, with Gutex on the West Coast.
Machinima.
Yeah. So definitely getting back into it, you know. And I actually asked him. We were doing Marvel this morning, and we got the stare down.
Maybe we can see a 100-hand slap fest. I don't know.
Oh. They're being serious about this.
Movement.
Yeah, so I was talking to Mike earlier, and I asked Mike, I said, you know, are you gonna stick with Honda? He's like, you know what, Honda for life. I'm gonna stick with it. And I like that persistence. He's always, you know, been really kind of flashy. He's had his great moments as Honda.
Absolutely.
So I like that. But he says he's gonna stick with it. So.
And Honda getting a little bit of a buff in Super Street Fighter 4. His jab headbutts and his EX headbutts definitely a more viable option now in the match. Not going to be punished as much when you whip. One of the things, though, however, Mike has dealt with his own strifes and sadness with Honda in the past, especially against Firewall characters, Ryu, Sagat. Not saying that those matchups are much easier this time around, but they are. I don't know what the rule set for that match was, but Mike won. So
yeah.
I think it's like 50 seconds of staring and then all for broke.
And then just normals. Yeah, I don't know if he was still on the phone or not, but he's off now.
So Mike, having something, going to try to do something special with Honda. Don't know if we'll see it, but
are you privy to this information?
I might be.
Okay. Okay. So at least if
I don't
we
want to ruin
see it,
Mike's
we'll
moment.
know.
When he comes
Fair
out,
enough.
There'll be a scream and a shout. And hopefully everyone at home will appreciate it.
I like that.
Let's just say it has a lot of hand slapping, a lot of other flashy, like you said, flashy stuff from Mike Ross.
Mike Ross style. So right now, Mike Ross playing some casual with Mr. SNK. We've also got Baye up on stage, combo feed. We'll see a few.
Nice neutral fierce into hand slap. Oh no. So Mike Ross now amping it up against Mr. SNK. Got the super though on wake up, so not really gonna help Mike there, but was able to land Ultra 2 pretty easily.
Congrats, Swizzy. Congrats.
So we got Marn coming and staying on the couch.
What's up, buddy? It's good to see you.
Marn's coming
good game versus combo feed.
By the way, congratulations to Marn on being signed recently with Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, we did an interview with him yesterday. We'll probably talk a little bit more about it, but yeah, Marn joining the ranks of Evil Geniuses.
And doing them proud and winning the 2-on-2 single-handedly.
Yes, and Guilty Gear, we like that. There's actually, did you get to see on myag.net, they wrote an article about you winning that tournament already? Yeah, look at that. Go figure, right? Who does that? That's awesome. So, just also for the record, Marn, Potato Head earlier today was saying that he could wreck you, so please, when you get the opportunity, just push his hit in, please.
And do it with a lower tier character or something.
Yes.
Like, just do it in the most embarrassing way possible.
Serious. Did you hear the smack talk he was saying about me when I was playing over there? Although I deserved every word, every word. All right. So we're still waiting on the brackets, guys. The groups are officially over. They've gone back to casuals. And maybe we can get an update, Fish Sticks, Gun Run, or something on where they're at with the brackets, just so we know. Okay, they are doing them right now. All right, well, it's serious business, those brackets. Right now, we just got some casual play between some of the top players here at the tournament. Mike Ross and Mr. SNK currently up to bat. Marn played a best of 5 with Combo Fiend.
Coming out ahead in the last, it went 3-2.
Yeah, was 3-2.
Although I think Marn's giving me the look like as if he was toying. Marn able to get the, I like the combos. But I like the roast taunt most of all. Martin showing his disapproval for the game.
When it doesn't work in his favor. I just think I know, it's the best seat in the house, isn't it, Martin? See? Although the couch is deceivingly, it may look comfortable, but the couch is actually, like, I mean, my ass hurts really bad, Martin. Yeah.
There's also something to be said about the person sitting on the left couch, or the right from, whichever way, is because I'm looking at all who have come for me, and I have to embrace it. Was you get that all to yourself.
Yeah, true that. Oh, you did. Oh, Martin almost won the raffle. That's what he was getting all excited about. I don't know. They actually might be able to hear a little bit of it.
Oh, Conan Barbarian action figure. I want. Oh well, no.
No. What? 5-10 minutes. All right. So we're 5 to 10 minutes away.
So I think that we should get Devastation's own Rob into the pro play, the King of the Hill play. I don't know. He was doing pretty well on MVC2.
Are these for?
I'm just going to throw these out there just so you can see them.
These are for all of the.
So we're getting first, second, third medals away for every single game, even the team.
Awesome.
I got some examples.
Phenomenal.
No, I just did medals. So do I get 2 medals for winning a 2v2?
Actually, sure.
Oh.
I do? Nice.
You can. What? Rob was telling me this is what the people are winning. Well, they can't see it. We're not. All right. We'll just hold on to that then. Make it rain, Scoots. Look at that. We got gold, silver, and bronze. And Martin just asked, since he won the 2v2 tournament, does he get 2 medals? And the answer was yes, Martin, you do. I don't know if you want to zoom in or not. Well, I'll just, you know what? This is the, I'm wireless, so I can do this, right? There we go. Martin's going to be rocking 2 of these for his Guilty gear, but those are the medals that everyone's going to win. Got engraving on the back. I don't know if you can see that due to the lighting. There you can. And there you go. Devastation 2. These aren't your medals, Martin. Don't try to get it. All right, going back to casuals. Bracket's going to be coming back soon. And we were told 5 minutes.
Yes.
5 minutes. So it's Sherry versus Valle.
Yeah, Sherry playing Viper and Valle choosing Gouken. I think just obviously really embracing the spirit of casuals here.
Yeah, and you know what? But we've seen Gouken used by Valle in some tournaments.
Yes.
I mean, we're not talking like
not seriously,
final, right? But he's been known to occasionally whip out the old man.
Well, he has his he has his new Ultra 2 with the fireballs, but Gouken's still kind of not really the kind of guy you want to pick when in tournament play.
Right, right.
Unless you're looking to make a statement and you think you can get away with it. Going for a Shinsho Ryuken, gets a full 3 hits. Sherry having meter probably should wake up with an EX burning kick, you know, just like when Vi's applying pressure at her, just to try to get out of the situation. It's actually really good, has invulnerability frames on startup. Going for a little elbow shenanigans there, overhead.
She almost snagged that round.
Now, was she in the Ladies of Street Fighter tournament over in was it arcade? Was it Denjin, I believe?
I believe so. Yeah, okay. I believe the original one. That you're talking
do we
about,
know if we signed up for the Ladies of Street Fighter tournament for Evo?
I've got to believe yes, and I believe she was playing in this tournament. I don't know her results or whether she got out, but I believe the answer to all of those is yes. So I'm not sure if she was in Shu's original Ladies of Street Fighter, but I want to say yes. Could be wrong though.
Oh, nice little use of Thunder Knuckle to get Alex out of the air. So Sherry's got the basic combos down. I mean, like the really basic, you know, cancel combos down, but doesn't really have a good follow-up to Thunder Knuckle after she connects. But as with everyone, we'll learn.
Right, because it's kind of like phase 2.
Yeah.
I mean, a Viper to me, you know, with my limited knowledge, just with that timing and that preciseness, seems like a very, you know, complex character to pick up and play 100% well. You
Absolutely,
know?
But the payoff is there.
Exactly, exactly.
So, I mean, if you nice little jab after the fireball, juggler in the air. Now, going back to Viper's execution, one of the things being that being able to get either the Thunder Knuckle into Burning Kicks, into Seismo, into Ultra, the Ultra still being incredibly viable, Ultra 1. Still probably the better Ultra, the one that most people are going to pick, even in this iteration of the game. Vi going for a cross-up. Vi really just kind of playing around, just playing with EX Tatsu in the air, trying to cross her up.
All right, and if you've just joined us here for the Devastation 2010 Super Street Fighter 4 on day 2, we should be getting the brackets. very soon.
See, now that's the kind of cross-up burn kick I like, but Vi focus canceled out of it and punished him, unfortunately.
I also, while we're doing the casuals, I do want to give a shout out to all of the audiences that are watching across the net. You know, all of the guys from Team Liquid, from Shoryuken, Event Hubs. We've seen some of the Quake community watching around. Of course, all the guys from Reddit, and go check out the Reddit thread in the gaming division and make sure you upvote that, get that on. So dig all the communities that come together. A lot of these guys, they just see there's these major tournaments coming on and they may not know, like they could be like just a casual player, maybe they just like watching, but those guys help build this community and get the awareness out there. So
absolutely, and
big shouts to all
I don't think that there's a site that you can go to right now that doesn't have the embed for this in it. You have it on Devastation, right?
Yeah.
You have it on your own.
Right.
I went and put it on SSF4 answers. It's big ass,
awesome.
Big ass embed. So if you're not seeing it, then you're in a hole somewhere.
Yeah, you're somewhere. And additionally, although it didn't work yesterday, the stream is available on iPhones and Android phones through the Ustream app. So I had a guy email me, and he was so bummed because he's like on vacation with his parents, and he didn't have his laptop, and he was like, "I'm so bummed the stream's not there." And I messaged him back and said they fixed it, and he was like, "Oh my God, I've been watching for the last 5 hours on my iPhone. It's just blown me away." So thanks to Ustream for providing that as well. Shouts to all those guys.
Alex keep trying to go for the jab after the fireball into the Tatsu. That's about the third time we've seen it do it. We got an Ultra Bows whipped by Alex, and Sherry taking a game from Alex.
There it is. Marn says that he taught Sherry Viper. So she should have the best Viper ever.
I love Marn, and I'm just joking when I say this, but is that why she's not doing so well? Oh. I'm just kidding, Marn. No, she's doing very well against Vi. No, just kidding. No, I mean, Marn definitely an excellent Viper player. One of the first times I saw Marn and commentated on Marn's Viper play, Game Unicon in 2009, used Viper extensively throughout the entire tournament. Marn, where did you come in Game Unicon? And what place did you come in? In Game Unicon up in Massachusetts. What place? Do you remember what place you came in?
I got second.
You got second. It was Justin.
Yeah, Justin got first.
So a lot of VMP representing that day. A lot of VMP representing that day. Yeah. But that was a lifetime ago.
I don't know who they are anymore, so you know.
EM who?
Yeah, who? What?
Scott,
it's all Evil Geniuses
confirmation
now.
that
EVG.
Mark's mic is on too.
I'm only going to be playing Viper today, not Dudley. So.
You're only going to be playing Viper in the tournament?
only Viper.
Oh. So do you want to talk a little bit about some of the changes?
Really?
Yeah.
You're not playing Dudley?
No.
Why not?
I'm not good with Dudley yet.
Okay.
I don't believe that my Dudley can win a tournament yet.
Interesting. Okay.
So Mark, do you want to talk a little bit about maybe some of the changes in Viper from Vanilla to Super?
She's not really changed that much. If anything, she's gotten better because like she has better footsies now. Like her crouching strong is better. Like it's actually really, really good. It stops people from mashing because it beats out a lot of things. They said like the flame kicks got worse, but it feels the same to me. Well,
and I'm one of those people who said not necessarily that I got worse, but we don't see players doing a lot of the flame kick cross-ups on knockdown that we used to see in Super. Is there any